Ready? Look at this guy. Look at the guy in red. Check out the hair. That's me in Israel, I think in Jerusalem, in 2005. If you're Jewish, you get to go on this free trip called Birthright Israel. It's fun. It's like summer camp. You go to Israel with a bunch of people your age, and you get to do cool stuff and learn. It's like a field trip. It's great. I'm not religious at all, but I'm Jewish. I'm a very proud Jew. And I've always been aware of my Jewishness. When I was a little kid, it was holidays at Nana's house. I was going to synagogue on holidays because that meant I got to skip school. When I was a little bit older, like maybe when I was a teenager, I remember Steven Spielberg's epic movie Schindler's List coming out. And I remember very specifically watching that movie, understanding that that film was like a very true to life depiction of things that actually happened here on planet Earth. A graphic, in your face representation of the Holocaust. And I remember watching that movie and thinking, like, why didn't the Jews just stop being Jewish so they wouldn't get shot? I didn't understand then that to be a Jew, that's your ethnicity. And to hate someone because they're Jewish is not to hate a people based on their actions or their politics or who they choose as their God, but it's to hate them because of who they are. And watching that movie, even as a kid, I never understood why the bad guys hated them so much. It made no sense to me. And I'm older now and maybe just slightly less naive, but to hate a people just because of who they are still doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get it. And look, the situation in the Middle East is complicated. And to call it complicated is a wild oversimplification. It's a conflict that's thousands of years old. It's a conflict you can read about in the Bible. The Romans fought over Jerusalem. The First World War, the Balfour Declaration, the Second World War, 1948, 1967, 1973, 1982, and on and on. It's nuanced, it's complicated, and despite the world's very best efforts for peace, no one seems to be able to figure it out. I certainly don't understand it. It is too complicated for me. What's not complicated, though, is what happened last Saturday, when members of Hamas set out on a mission with a singular goal to kill as many Jews as possible. They murdered, raped, mutilated, kidnapped Jewish women, grandmas, kids, and entire families. And look, war has existed for all of human history, and all war is violence. There's not much morality in any of it. But there's a reason why history singles out the truly reprehensible. And when it comes to walking door to door, shooting families in their homes, or killing 260 young people at an electronic dance music festival, a lot of those 260 innocent young people were shot in the back as they were running away. Or kidnapping a young woman, violently raping her, and then parading her through the streets to cheering crowds. Or finding out yesterday, a confirmed report that about 40 dead babies were discovered, some of them still in their cribs. There's no moral equivalency here. There's no yeah, but. There's no justifying that kind of barbarism because of a cause. It is horror and demonic and the very worst that any humans are capable of. And I'm making this video not because I'm the best person to deliver this information. Read the news if you want to know what's going on. I do not have a deep understanding of the geopolitical situation in the Middle East or some naive answer to a conflict that is thousands of years old. And despite this awesome t-shirt that I have on, I'm not here to give the peace sign and say, can't we all just get along? I'm making this video to be as vocal as possible in calling out anti-Semitism when I see it. Anti-Semitism, that is to hate Jewish people simply because of who they are, Jewish. Wanting peace for Palestinians, that's not anti-Semitic. Questioning or criticizing the Israeli government or its leaders for their actions, that is not inherently anti-Semitic. That's an important dialogue that everyone concerned should be engaged in. But what happened Saturday was not motivated by a desire for land or freedom or any political agenda. It was about killing Jews. Hamas, the perpetrators of that violence, Hamas has a singular mission, and they're not secretive about it. You can read Hamas's charter. It's online. You got to dig around, but you can find it online. And that charter makes it clear. It's not about land. It's not about helping the people of Palestine live prosperous or happy lives. It is about killing Jews. These are not freedom fighters. They're racist murderers. The day of judgment will not come about until fight Jews and kill them. Then the Jews will hide behind rocks and trees, and the rocks and trees will cry out, "There's a Jew hiding behind me, come and kill him." That is a poorly translated but direct quote from the Hamas charter, a publicly stated goal of the murderers. So when I see on social media, especially by posts by people that I know, attempts at justifying the acts of these savages by equivocating it, activists, so-called activists, rushing to say that there are reasons why it's okay that those families were murdered, or people who can look at a video of a girl being pulled out of a truck with blood pouring from her pants after she's been gang raped and say all resistance is justified. My question is, on what grounds do you make such claims? Have you no humanity? Can you not separate the desire for peace or land or whatever your goals might be from these heinous acts? Where do you have to go in your brain before you can stop seeing the murder of babies in their cribs as just that, murders of babies, and instead see it as just? It is incomprehensible to me. The people who marched the day after the attacks holding up a sign that read, "By any means necessary." Really? Any means? Look, of course, there are innocent Palestinian victims out there who need support, who need a voice. But Hamas, the people who committed these barbaric acts, they're not serving those people. That's not their goal. Their mission is singular, and it's to kill people because of who they are, because they're Jewish. And look, I know a lot of folks are scared to speak up or speak out in support of their Jewish friends because it's a complicated situation. Nobody wants to say the wrong thing. But know that Jewish people, know that your Jewish friends, when they see scenes like this, that's a large group of people chanting "Gas the Jews" in Sydney, Australia, 2 days ago. When they see scenes like that, what hurts Jewish people more than those scenes is when non-Jews are silent, when their peers are too afraid to speak out against that kind of blatant hatred, that kind of blatant anti-Semitism. All right. These videos, I don't like making these videos. These are my least favorite kind of videos to make.